My next guest is a musician, inventor, entrepreneur, businessman and loving dad. He's the founder of the newest Los Angeles football club called City of Angels, and he tours the world with his music as a solo act. He obviously gets his good looks and musical pedigree from his father Sting. Joe is with us tonight. Please give him a big round of applause. Hey Joe, nice to see you.
What's up, Finbar?
How are you, mate?
How you doing, man?
It's nice to see you again. It's been a minute. So I've been following all your exploits on Facebook, but for those in the audience that aren't up to speed, tell us what you're up to at the moment.
I'm up to improving my bandwidth, hopefully. What's up? So, as you know, I've been a musician my whole life. And when we met, I was actually in the throes of trying to become a tech guru billionaire, which was very interesting. Started a couple of companies, Viclone, collaborative video app, Weave, also another collaborative video app. And right now I'm just back deep into the music. So I'm Joe Sumner. I had a band called Fiction playing for years and years, but I'm working on my solo acoustic music right now. And I also started a football team or a soccer team, whatever you wish to call it, here in Los Angeles where I live. So, I keep it fresh all the time. There's always something new.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about City of Angels, the new club. How'd that come about?
So City of Angels FC is the brainchild of me and my friend Paul Harrison, who's a guy from Liverpool, lifelong Everton fan, and he was working at Everton, and he did some music management and bits and pieces. He came over here and just started looking at the US soccer landscape, which is very underdeveloped. Right. So you've got this MLS league, which is the professional league, and then below that you kind of have this Wild West, disorganized kind of just bunch of teams. It's such a huge country that it's hard to sustain one league that people can afford to travel to the games, and even the teams can't afford to travel to the games. So we looked at the fourth division of soccer here, which has incredibly low startup costs, and in terms of business, it made sense because people want to see games, and we thought we could provide excellent soccer entertainment for less than $100 million a year.
Yeah, well, it does sound like an opportunity.
Yeah, so, and that's when I talk about myself as a creative person, I definitely think about removing obstacles all the time. So one of the main obstacles to everything is the cost of stuff. Right. And if I can find a way to do something without spending a huge amount of money, it just means you have much more freedom to execute the idea and have a more robust vision. So That's where that came from.
Awesome.
And probably going to kick off next year. Everybody's loving it. All of the British expats in LA are involved.
Awesome.
As you know, there's millions of them.
Yes.
It should be good.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. So on that, do you think having a musical sort of brain helps you see opportunities that others that you've worked with that really aren't creative don't see?
Well, there's a couple of things there. I think anybody who's tried to make a career out of music naturally has a good sort of entrepreneurial spirit, because you kind of have to. Yeah. There's not a lot of people in music who are bloated and kind of living off an old business model or some kind of legacy. Nearly everybody has to make it work somehow on a business front. So it kind of you just naturally get people who are looking for opportunities, ways to make money, ways to do something creative, ways to make a video on a shoestring, and that's purely the sort of economics of it. But also, when I started tech companies, 2011, we went around hiring the best tech programmers we could find. I think out of my company Viclone, there was 15 coders. 12 of them were extremely proficient musicians that performed as well. And there's certainly a link there between just the science of how you understand music and the science of how you can get into code. But also in terms of the creativity, just being able to think of an idea and then translate that into reality. That's really something that I think musicians have got a good understanding of, because it's when you get into a piece of music and you start listening to it deeply, you can just hear that there's there are structures, there are chords, there are algorithms going on that make it do what it does. And if you understand that, then you can have much more control over it.
Yeah, there seems to me to be this like a structure of harmony. So when you can be all an individual doing your own thing, but when you come together as a group or a band or an orchestra, there's sort of, it creates a whole new sort of outcome, and being able to play together in that sort of environment. I think that translates also to businesses in the future. You can be one type of organization, but to co-create with another type of organization in a way can be someone who does completely different roles, like a drummer or a musician or a guitarist, but they come together and they create something.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the fact that, in music, a note is the value of a note is based on what came before it and what comes after it, and the other notes around it. So it's nothing is on its own.
Yeah.
It's, so everything is interconnected, and that's the way I was grown up, and that's the way I was educated, was to think about the interconnected nature of things. And it really is. You can play one note that sounds evil in the context of a song, and then another song it's a nursery rhyme. So So there you go.
Awesome. So I know you're busy. You've got your sports, your music, your solo career, your touring, your family. So how do you manage your time? And like, how do you still be creative? How do you still be a businessman? How do you still be a dad? Do you have a process for that?
It's tough.
Yeah.
But I think I have 4 kids. I have probably five businesses running at one time. My main way to do it is just to do one thing at a time. Oh. So whatever I'm doing in a moment, even if I've got 20 minutes to do something, everything else needs to just go away and just do that one thing for 20 minutes. And that can be incredibly productive.
Awesome. So last thing is just wanted to ask you if you've got any tips or any ideas for people in the audience that might be able to use to actually help expand their creative mind. Love to hear them.
I think the main idea, people have ideas, but then there's ideas and there's how to get them into the real world. And I think the best thing you can do is, if you have any creative ideas, is to spend, like I said, 20 minutes or an hour, whatever you have, just trying to actually do it. And do that once a day. And don't worry about the result. And don't worry about if you look like a moron or not. Just try and do it and try and actualize things that are in your head, because everybody has ideas. It's hard to find things that have real value in the world, and it's hard to find things that other people will support you with. So you've just got to try them. And it's as simple as that. And I know a lot of people who have an idea and they sit on it for years and years because it's their big idea, and when they make it, it's going to be huge. And nearly always, I think it's like a muscle. If you try an idea one day, you'll come up with a better idea the next day. I don't think you have that one thing which is gonna, if you hold on to it for too long, it's gonna die, just like everything else.
Awesome. Well, that's great advice, Joe, and it's so awesome seeing you again. Thank you so much for the input on my first pilot show, and can't wait to see you again back in Los Angeles.
Can't wait to see you. Have fun.
Take care,
Let me know when
mate.
you're around.
See you soon.
Mate.
Cheers.